Hi everyone, it's Laura here from See Clear Counselling and welcome to, this is my fifth video now in my live videos, and just doing these videos really to try and help you get through this coronavirus crisis. So as I say, we're into week 4 now of stay at home. So looking at ways to help you cope through this difficult time. So, you know, we're struggling through this coronavirus epidemic, and it looks like from what's happening that maybe we're going to be stay at home and in isolation for a little bit longer. So just hoping that these videos help you get through and help you be mentally stronger through this time. So if you haven't seen any of my live videos before, then I'm Laura and I run my own private counselling business, See Clear Counselling, in Poole in Dorset, and I offer face-to-face counselling and also telephone and video counselling. And yes, the previous lives that I've done have been about tips on managing your anxiety, some tips around coping with the isolation of coronavirus, and we looked at managing worry. And today we're going to look at positive psychology. So all of the previous videos are on my Facebook page, and I usually write a blog after each as well, and I put those onto my Facebook page and also onto my website, which is www.seeclearcounselling.co.uk. So, as I say, today I wanted to talk about positive psychology, and positive psychology is one of my favourite things to do. I do a lot of work with positive psychology with my clients in the counselling room, and I really do enjoy doing positive psychology because it's a way of looking at how we can have a happier and more fulfilling life. So if you're coming on board and watching, then please do give me a wave and say hello. It's always nice to know that other people are out there watching. And if I say something that you agree with, then it's always great to have a thumbs up and know that I'm saying things that are resonating well with you. So yeah, hopefully you'll get something from the video today. So I thought about doing positive psychology very much because I was out on my daily exercise the other day, and I always try and smile at people and say hello and say good afternoon and things, and this is great because I've got people saying hello to me now. So hi Julie, thanks so much for coming on board. It's really good to have you with us today. So yeah, I try and kind of smile at people and say hello and good afternoon. And for me, that reminded me of a poem that I read. And I think I probably came across this poem when I was doing my counselling training. And when I came back and read the poem, I was struck by how it mirrored what we're going through at the moment, but from a completely different perspective. And when I read you the poem, I think you'll understand what I mean. But this reminded me of positive psychology, and that actually positive psychology enables us to look at life from a different perspective. So it may be that you perhaps consider yourself to be a glass half empty person. And with positive psychology, if you practice it on a regular basis, you can move your perspective over to a glass half full person. And actually, positive psychology is scientifically backed. There's a lot of research done which shows that it can do this for people. And it moves people from this hopelessness, perhaps, over to more optimism. Hi Jean, thank you for joining me. I think you're all the way from the States, aren't you? That's fabulous. So let me read this little poem to you, and I think you'll see what I mean about looking at things from a different perspective. And I really do love this poem. So here we go. Smiling is infectious. You catch it like the flu. When someone smiled at me today, I started smiling too. I passed around the corner and someone saw my grin. When he smiled, I realised I'd passed it on to him. I thought about the smile, then I realised its worth. A single smile, just like mine, could travel around the earth. So if you feel a smile begin, don't leave it undetected. Let's start an epidemic quick and get the world infected. So I kind of thought, we're in this epidemic, the world is being infected, we're in this fear and sadness about what's happening at the moment. But actually this is using the same sort of words, an epidemic, infection, etc. But it's all about spreading happiness and spreading that smile around the world. And I thought, how great if we can start to feel the same way and actually start to spread the happiness to ourselves when we're feeling in this really quite dark place at the moment. So, if you want to know more about positive psychology, I would look up two psychologists, perhaps on Google. Martin Seligman, he was the founder of positive psychology, and it's quite a new field of psychology. Didn't actually get properly introduced until about the year 2000. And Ed Diener, he's actually called Dr. Happiness because he's done so much work around subjective well-being. Hi Anne, thank you very much for, and it looks like you come every week, so thank you for that. And Alex is loving the poem. Yes, I love the poem too. So what does positive psychology do? Well, it focuses on what makes our life worth living. And it looks at the positive aspects and focuses on the strengths that we have rather than our weaknesses. So it looks at positive emotions, positive traits, and positive events. Now, the greatest potential that positive psychology gives us is, as I said, it shifts our perspective. And, when I was out on my daily exercise the other day, kind of smiling and saying hello to people, it struck me how the perspective has changed around what we're doing at the moment. Because as I approach people on my daily walk, what happens? They cross the road away from me, or they give me a wide berth to give me my social distancing. Now, in the past, I would have considered that probably very rude. If you're approaching someone and they cross the road to avoid you, you'd probably think that was quite rude. But now, of course, we're thinking that's very polite and that's what they should be doing. So our perspective has changed. So you can see how easy it is for our perspective to change about things. And, it is possible for us to almost rewire our brain into thinking in a different way. And that's what positive psychology does. If you feel that you're not feeling a life fulfilled enough, then that is what positive psychology can do. So the exercises that you do with positive psychology are quite easy and small exercises, and they just give you small changes to make in your life. But actually, by making these small changes, you can make a big impact on your well-being. And as I say, they've been research-based, and there's trials and evidence to show that they really do this shift for you. Now, like all exercises, if you do it once, it's probably not going to make a lot of difference. If you think about when you go to the gym, you have to go to the gym on a regular basis to see the difference in your body shape and how things work for you. So your brain is a muscle, and you have to work it much the same as you work other muscles in your body. So if you've got these little exercises to do, what you need to do is introduce them on a regular basis into your life, perhaps doing them daily or twice weekly, or however it kind of feels comfortable for you. But almost like when you're building your muscle at the gym, then you're building your brain muscle, and by doing it every day, you start to see those changes happen for you. So let's think of, let me go through 3 tips around how you can integrate positive psychology into your life. Hi Sue, and another Sue and Rosemary. Thank you all for coming along and watching. I hope you're going to enjoy what we're going to talk about and these 3 tips on moving your world into a more positive place. So the first one I want to talk about is smiling and spreading happiness. Now, we've already touched on smiling and showing how through that poem how we can spread our smile around the world just by smiling to people. Now, what makes us smile? So again, there's research that's shown that if we recall a pleasant memory and something good that we have that we can remember, then actually we start to smile about that pleasant memory. And that pleasant memory will usually significantly and instantly give us a lift in our mood. So that's something really easy that we can do at the moment. If you're feeling a little bit low through this coronavirus isolation, then, think of a happy memory. It can be a recent happy memory, or it can be something from a long time ago. But if you regularly think of a happy memory, you're going to smile and you're going to lift your mood. And even thinking about it, I'm smiling now thinking about it. How great is that? And we know that happiness breeds happiness. If we're in an environment that's happy, then we generally will be happy. If we're in an environment that's sad and down and hopeless, that can drag us down. So actually try and be in an environment that's happy. So if you've got a particularly favourite comedian, why not look them up on YouTube and watch them for 10 or 15 minutes? Or put on, a DVD or something and watch your favourite DVD. If there's someone in your family that always makes you happy, then, give them a call, FaceTime them and bring their happiness into your life. And if you're the person that makes everyone happy, and get in contact with people and make them happy. And that's so easy for us to do at the moment. Facebook is great. You can look at some really great funny videos and send those to your friends and cheer them up. So there's a really good way to spread smiles and spread happiness that can really easily be done. So keep doing that through this time. So the second one is looking at our positive traits, things like resilience and gratitude. And what I'm going to look at is gratitude. Now, gratitude is being able to look at the things that we're grateful for and that make us happy. Now, again, the science comes in and it's been shown that the frequency of our positive experiences is much better than the intensity of our positive experiences. So, we can go on holiday once a year and we can really enjoy that holiday and have a great time. But then actually that will kind of be a distant memory. Someone's asked a question, I'll get to that later. Jean, okay, I'm looking at what you're saying and I'll get to that a little bit later, okay? At the end we'll talk about that. Looking at supplements, feeling trapped at home and the fear of the unknown. Okay, Jean, we can look at that. And also if you look at some of my previous videos, we talked a lot about that fear of the unknown. So if you look at some of the previous videos and blogs, you'll probably be able to find out some of that. So we can go through that towards the end. So gratitude diary, as I say, the frequency of your positive experience is better than your intensity. So if we can think about things that we experience on a daily basis, then that will really help us to keep that happy feeling going. So as I say, a holiday, it happens, it's great, we feel happy, but then it can become a distant memory. So what we're doing is taking it up to the next level and actually thinking every day, what are the things that were good that happened that day? So what I would suggest is you get a little notebook and you put it by your bed. And then every evening before you go to sleep, you think of 3 good things that happened that day or 3 things that you were grateful for. Now, they don't have to be big things. They can be very small things, but it's, as I say, it's just the kind of frequency of this positivity that we're feeding our brain. So it may be, perhaps, if you're in isolation with a family of small children around and it's been quite chaotic for you, the thing that you might be grateful for is that you were able to get up earlier this morning, have a cup of coffee in a quiet space by yourself, and that was time that you were really grateful for. It could be, say for example, yesterday, one of my cats came and sat on my lap with me. Now, if any of you know my cats, you know that's very rare for my cats to do that. And so actually having my cat come and sit on my lap for a quarter of an hour, give me a bit of love and me give a bit of love back to the cat, then that I was grateful for and that made me feel good. So just look for those little things that happen through the day that you're grateful for and that made you feel good. And as I say, write them in your notebook and read them before you go to sleep, because what that means is you're going to sleep in a positive frame of mind. Now, it may be difficult at first. Sometimes we err on the negative, and we might say, well, all those bad things happened. I can't think of anything good. But if you think about it, you will find something small. Even if it's only one thing, then write it down. And Julie is saying the smallest things definitely bring the most joy. How fantastic. Absolutely right. So, yeah, write those little things down and go to bed in that positive mindset. And then what I do is, in the morning, pick up your notebook, look at the 3 things that happened the day before, and remind yourself that good things happen during the day. So instead of waking up and possibly thinking, oh, here we go again, it's another day of the same thing, or here we go again, the kids are going to be demanding lots of stuff and I don't know how to cope, or here we go again, I don't know what to do with my day, I'm doing the same thing every day. You're almost setting your day up to be a bad day. So pick up that notebook, look at the 3 things that were good from the day before, and start the day in that positive mindset. Look at those great things that happened yesterday. I really enjoyed eating that Easter egg. I really enjoyed having a bit of time in the sun. So you're starting your day off thinking in a positive way. So that's the gratitude diary, and perhaps try that. That's a really easy way to do things. And the last one is looking at your gift of time. Now, the gift of giving has really been shown to improve our well-being. And what happens is when we give to others, it gives us a sense of purpose, and it also gives us this sense of goodwill. And actually, when we give to other people, we actually receive back from them as well, because quite often when we do something good for someone, we'll feel that gratitude coming back from them. And so, again, there's been scientific evidence to show that actually if we give to other people, then we can reduce our stress and we can reduce our depression. And actually other studies have shown we can even reduce our blood pressure and reduce the incidence of heart disease for us. So introducing giving to others on a regular basis is good. Now at this time, the gift of time is something that we probably have that we can give to other people. Now, we've seen a lot in the news, people are volunteering with the NHS to help with the NHS. We've got people shopping for the vulnerable and delivering food to the care homes and things like that. We've got chefs offering to cook food for people in their own time. So there's a lot that people are giving at this time, and it's so lovely to see people giving their time to others like this, gifting their time. And that's something you can do as well. And again, you don't have to do it in this big way if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, but you can do that within your own family unit. So a gift of time might be something really simple, like maybe your wife or your mum or your girlfriend has done all the cooking while you've been in isolation. Why not gift them the time of cooking the meal one evening? You're gifting your time to them, but you're also giving them the gift of time that they've got some time to do something else. So, just think of really simple things you can do. Maybe a relative that's on their own, and you can gift a bit of your time just to give them a call and make them feel better. So that's my 3 tips on positive psychology. We're talking about smiling and spreading happiness, and looking at how you can bring happiness into your own life by bringing the people that make you happy into your life through videos or phone calls or whatever. We've looked at gratitude and actually looking at three things a day that make you feel good, make you feel grateful, writing them down before you go to bed so you're going to bed on a positive mindset, and reading them in the next morning so you're starting your day in a positive mindset. And the last one was the gift of time, that actually you can give your time to other people, and by giving you're also receiving, so you're almost getting a double whammy of happiness there. So I hope that you can start to introduce those into some of your daily routines, and start to see how your mood can lift and make you feel like things are more fulfilling, because it can be really difficult at the moment that we're feeling, it's the same old thing, and actually we need to bring a little bit of happiness into our time. So I'll post this on my Facebook page as usual, and I will write a blog and post that on the Facebook page, and also put it onto my website, www.seaclearcounselling.co.uk. If you want to know anything more, then, message me and things, that's great. And, as I've said, I do a lot of this within my counselling. If you feel that counselling will be helpful, then you can always reach out to me for that. I've reduced my rates through this coronavirus crisis, because I know it's quite difficult for people financially at this time. So if you do feel you need that help, then reach out. And as always, I say that if you're struggling with anything, then reach out to a friend and talk to them, because talking to someone is the best that you can do. So I hope that you're liking positive psychology and you'll introduce some of that into your daily routine. And Claire said thank you. It's very useful and it resonates. So that's great, Claire. I'm so glad to hear that resonates. And Jean, you asked your question earlier. I say perhaps go to some of my previous videos and look at those. And I will take a look at your message after and perhaps send you over a private message to look at and see. So some great agreement coming from people. Good. I'm glad that you're able to listen, and hopefully you'll start to be able to introduce some of this into your daily life while we're stuck at home in this coronavirus. And hopefully after all this is over as well, that you can start to introduce it into your life on a more regular basis. So thanks very much, people. And I'll check in again next Tuesday at 4:30. Think about what I can talk about next week. If you've got any ideas, then please let me know. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you. Julie, thank you.